The views expressed by the guests of the Real ShowCast do not necessarily represent the views of the Real ShowCast or its hosts. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the cast, the Real ShowCast. Oh yeah, the Real ShowCast. It's the cast.
Episode 1. Episode number 1.
Numero
uno. The
Yes.
very first episode of the Real ShowCast.
Woohoo!
And what this show is about, okay, I am the host, sure, but I'm going to have an excellent co-host. Today, this is my man, Eric Stretch.
Eric.
Yep, that's me.
And Eric
The
Stretch,
very best.
Eric Stretch was in a boy band with me for
Sure was.
a long
very
time.
long time.
We were signed to who?
Well, we were signed to MJJ Records under the division of Sony Records.
Wow.
And
And that would be
oh, I'm sorry,
Michael-
MJJ Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson?
Yes, I
Yes,
don't.
please
I just
mention that.
Yeah, no problem. I will.
and
Under
then
the Work Group, and then our second album was under Maverick Records.
And that's
I
owned
think
by...
Madonna owned that one.
What?
I think that was a little record label that she had.
I could have given that bio
I'm sorry,
for you
what
guys
was
too.
Oh, that was just some name drops right there.
So we should be interviewing you guys.
Yeah, seriously.
You guys are the hot sauce.
We'll,
Alright,
sa-
great.
we'll
That's-
save this. We'll save this for another episode. But today we're interviewing the illustrious cast.
Beautiful cast.
Beautiful cast. You guys look amazing today, by the way. Look at you. Look at you. And you have some awesome stories to tell. And I tell you, we're gonna tell them today.
We are.
Okay.
We're gonna get down to the real.
So Eric Stretch, my man, introduce our guest, if you will, please.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, neighbors, those who are yet decided, please welcome the beautiful Darris Love
Thank you.
and the handsome and gorgeous, stunning Natanya Ross.
Thank you.
You guys, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
This
honor.
is really cool.
Awesome.
It's an
This
honor.
is fun.
Yeah,
For the very first episode, it's kind of fantastic.
very
so.
special.
It is. It is. What are we gonna start with? I don't even know.
I do, because I did my homework.
Well, you know what? We both did homework together yesterday. And the first segment... Sorry, I didn't mean to... Sorry.
Watch out for those
Sorry.
balls.
I'm an amateur. I'm just beginning with this. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is Alex Mack 101. So first thing, for those that don't know about this show,
Yeah.
tell us about the show. You guys can
first?
decide who wants to go first.
Ladies
Tell us
first.
about this show.
Okay, sure, I'll go.
All right.
So we were on a very small little show called The Secret World of Alex Mack.
A very small, secretive show.
And I say that in jest because it was actually the #1 Nickelodeon show for I think 7 years running in the 90s. We
Yeah.
were Nickelodeon's flagship show called The Secret World of Alex Mack.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
for those who might not know what the show is about, it's about a young girl who gets doused with a chemical by accident and then develops
Well,
secret
who would do that
powers.
on purpose? Like,
Well, I mean, you never know. If I had an opportunity to have powers, I would do that on purpose for sure. But yeah, so it was just this really cool little science fiction show in the 90s that ended
Yes.
up being the biggest kid show in the world at that time.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We were competing against Monday Night Football.
Wow.
In ratings, we had
Yeah.
such a big following.
that'd be a lot easier now.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Everything that's going on with the NFL, right? But it was a wonderful experience because we had such a cult following. Even to this day,
Yeah.
people come to us as an adult with hair in weird places. Hey, you're that guy.
Hair in weird places.
I got hair in weird places. I didn't know that was going to happen. Okay, to all my male adult mentors, you should have told me that. But as I got older, people still would recognize me from Alex Mack, even though I did other work.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's how you knew that your fan base grew with you
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And what was great about it was just such a great cast. You had Larissa Olenick, Ben Smith, Jason Strickland. Big shout out to my brother.
Jason was going to be here today, but he actually had
Yes.
to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll see him soon.
Absolutely. But everybody knows his last name, Jessica Alba. Okay. Jessica Alba's first TV show and big deal was Alex Mack.
Yeah.
I just have to throw this in there, and you know this. I don't know if you know this. I actually gave a shout out to Jessica Alba in our
your
album
liner
notes.
liner notes. Yeah, I did know
I had
that.
the biggest crush. I was an extra
Uh-huh.
in what was that movie? The Idle Hands. I was an
okay.
extra in that,
Okay.
and there was a little flirting going on.
Oh, wow.
No, it was
And
not.
you gave her a shout out on the album?
I did. It's true. I was.
That's a
By the way,
serious crush.
Natanya,
I was fresh.
You're my special thanks too. Just to let you know.
Thank
was,
you, but I don't think I made the liner
I,
notes.
I was. I think you did actually.
Did I?
I believe. Did
Yeah.
You? Yeah. Of course you did.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Well, if not,
Is there a way to pull that up and verify? Because wow, that's
We'll
very cool.
We'll research later.
Okay.
Moving on. So continue, my man.
So what was cool was, we will all have this growing up,
Yeah.
but also working relationship
Yeah.
as kids. We had home studies, but
Yeah.
we worked right around the corner from Magic Mountain. So
Yeah.
when we finished our homework and our work on set, we would go hang out at Magic Mountain.
Right there.
Right there.
That
in
is-
Valencia.
those beautiful studios over there.
Yeah, the
That's
Santa
awesome.
Clarita Studios, which are in Valencia.
And they have a little putt course nearby.
Oh man, this was. Let me tell you, one of our rap parties, we shut down all of Magic Mountain to ride just Batman as it came out.
With
Tommy
That
Lynch
line
and
was
Ken
so
Littman.
long. I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
I waited 3 hours for that ride.
I mean,
It
we
was
must
really
have rode
cool.
like
how long did you wait for that ride?
no time.
No time at all. Yeah.
We rode about
you
4 or
feel about
5
that?
They
times.
shut
back
down
to
the whole
back.
park for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just upset Eric.
The whole park. Yeah.
For how many
Yeah.
people?
Well, it was
It was
a
a-
whole
it was a
cast
rap
and crew,
party.
a rap party.
Probably 100.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, whatever. We had Busch Gardens.
Oh, I've been to Busch Gardens.
We had Busch Gardens
did.
closed for like 4 people. So
Yeah, I've been to Busch Gardens. I actually
Remember
filmed.
when the tiger almost ate you? Remember that?
Yes, it was very.
It was nerve wracking. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that
Because you almost
but-
died.
because I
You
almost
blocked it
died.
out. Moving
So
on.
moving on. So, Secret World of Alex Mack. How did it start? Like, obviously it started with an audition, but like, go even more into detail of like, do you remember that actual day? Was it something that like you prepared for? Was it something that was just mundane?
Well, I think we both actually have really interesting stories how we got the part. So for me, Alex Mack was shot as a pilot twice. So there was a bit of recasting after the first pilot.
She's giving
So,
secrets.
I am giving a little bit of a backstory.
Secrets
Yeah.
of the secret world.
So I auditioned initially for when they shot the first pilot for Alex, and I screen tested for it, and I didn't get it. And then they shot the pilot without us, and then recast almost, I'd say 90% of the whole show. I went back again, second round, to screen test for Alex again, and they called my agent. They said, it's just like something's not quite working. So I went back and screen tested for Annie. They said she's just a little too young to play Annie. And then they went and shot the pilot, and I never really heard anything after that, and I was pretty bummed out because that sounds like a short amount of time, but that's actually like a year's worth of like screen testing and auditioning and callbacks.
You're in a
and-
hole in a van.
Yeah,
So,
you're
so
just going
at this
back
time,
and
this
back
is
and back.
technically what, like 1993, early 94?
No, it would have been 1990.
1990.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Wow.
they shot the pilot, which went on to actually be the show in 91.
Yeah.
So after they shot the pilot, I got a call from my agent who said, look, they love you. They want to write a part for you, just for you.
That's amazing.
Well, it was, and it gets a little funky too. But so I said, okay, great. So they called me back down. Do you remember the Valencia studios?
Of course.
Oh my gosh, it's just I spent so much time there. So I went back and I just like walk in the room like, oh, they wrote a part for me. And I walk in and there's like 50 other girls
course.
auditioning for the same role. And I was
The same part they wrote for you?
the same part they wrote for me.
I'm so glad
So-
that this entertainment industry has changed so
I know,
much since
it
then.
really has
Sarcasm.
evolved so much. So I went and I saw all these other girls, and I just like had a feeling in my heart. I knew that I was meant to be on this show,
Yeah.
and I felt very connected to the character from the second I read the side. So I went back and I auditioned, and then I went back for a callback, and then I tested, and I got the part. But when I booked the role of Robin, it was only for 3 episodes, and that's all it was ever supposed to be. So I shot the 3 episodes, and at the end of the 3rd episode I was in, when it was like my final wrap, they announced in front of the cast and crew, like, we've just invited Natanya to be a series regular in the
Special.
show.
That's
yeah.
great.
And then I was on the whole entirety of the show.
Every episode.
Yeah,
It was-
after
it-
that,
they couldn't.
so-
The character was so a part of the overall story that they couldn't do an episode without her. And I'm a living witness to, like, we would do an episode or a scene where we didn't have Natanya Ross, or we didn't have, the entourage, like before the show entourage. Like, it was like this. The click.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like weird when we would do scenes, it was like something was missing.
Right.
That's how important Robin Russo was to the overall story.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Did you knew that though?
Of course. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm totally kidding. Yeah, but I mean, they would let me out to, and YouTube, but they would let me out, like, there would be a block of episodes I couldn't be in because they'd let me out to go do other projects, which was really cool. So they'd let me out to go do a movie or a movie of the week or an episode of another television series.
So you were kind of a diva then, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, no, I wasn't a diva.
I'm
they
just
were
kidding.
just
I'm
they
just
were
kidding.
awesome. They really like
Well, it sounds to me
They were
that
open.
they were open.
It sounds to me like of some of the experiences that we've heard with some of the younger actors in the 90s, this experience was extremely supportive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It seems really like, and I'm going to hear about your experience.
Yeah,
Darris.
my experience was a little bit different because I didn't go through the traditional way of casting. I was discovered for the role of Raymond Alvarado at my performing arts school in Hollywood,
nice.
Bancroft Middle School. And at this time, Bancroft was known for a lot of top entertainers that came out of there. Brandy Norwood, who played Moesha, came out of there. Several other different kids that were in the entertainment business came from the school. So I would...
You can just say Brandy.
to
the-
Like
and
most
to
people
the-
know who Brandy
There
is.
you go. You know what's up.
Oh, yeah. Of
So long story short, I did a Black History play where I was Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, MC Hammer, and James Brown.
All the same show?
All in the same time, in one show, one act show, right? And I got a write-up in the newspaper. And Nickelodeon saw that write-up, and they came to my performing arts school, and they auditioned everyone in the drama class except me that day. I was ditching. And I hated it.
Hollywood High
Because
School?
I got sent to these performing arts school and church plays as punishment. My mom and dad, they were like, hey, you are very believable. Like, you have this charisma and this charm about you that I could lie to them. I could break a table in front of them and say, Mom, Dad, why whoop me? It had a crack in it. It was going to break anyway. And they sit there and they go, well, we just saw him break it. Or was it already broken? Long story short, they channeled what could have been negative into a positive outlet for me, which was being in the performing arts schools and church plays. And I got discovered by Alex Mack there. Now, the best thing that I did is that at that time, because my father being a theater actor and my dad being a world-renowned model, I already had an agent.
And terrible genes.
Right. And long story short, I had already auditioned for Alex Mack.
Without knowing it.
I knew the lines. When they gave it to me, I said, oh, I seen this. I looked at it. I gave it back to them. I said, I'm ready. They said, what? You're ready? I knocked it out verbatim, word for word. So finally, the executive producer at that time goes, hey, can we take him to our executive, Tommy Lynch, Ken Littman, big shout out. They said, can we take him to go audition for our executive who's flying back to New York to the head of Nickelodeon? We've already got this show slated. It's like a 5-year contract. It's a big deal. It's ready to go. They said, take him. I mean, this kid doesn't like being in drama class anyway. And this could change his life, sure. So they call my mom and dad. They get a permission for me to go to audition. So that same day that I auditioned for him in the school, I go again and audition at the executive offices in Hollywood. Knock it out the park. Now, mind you, on my way home, I just had this funny feeling that my life has changed, like something just happened, And so when I get to my mother's...
Your smiley face. Like,
I get to my mom's
Yeah.
house. She's like, boy, where are you? I'm like, Mom, listen, something happened. That's why I'm late. Don't worry. So she's trying to put the move on me, like, why are you late? Where you been? What have you been doing? I said, Mom, listen, I'm telling you my life's going. Before I could finish the next sentence, she goes, they called, they want you, you got the job.
Oh, I got chills.
Yeah.
Before you even got home.
But as I'm walking in the driveway, before I got in the door of my home, and
That's amazing.
I fell out just crying, thanking God. And 5 years later, I was able to help move my family out of Watts and been on the #1 TV show on Nickelodeon. And 30 years later, I've still been working, and that's really.
Well, I also think it's really odd that that the two of you are sitting here and you guys are both LA natives.
Yes.
You're both born and raised. Are you?
Well-
Why do I think you're born and raised in Hollywood?
I mean, I moved out here when I was 9.
Okay.
So it's young enough, but I'm technically from New Jersey.
Word.
Yeah.
Technically.
My bad. I thought that
So-
you were.
That's why we
But
forgive
still,
that.
it's such-
Yeah,
such a
you have to
young
just like
age.
put
Yeah.
that out of your head. Yeah.
Now
So-
we'll get back to your MC Hammer reference because
Oh yes, don't you worry.
you got to know I danced for Hammer.
You dance for Hammer.
Remember his last video? He brought me out.
You dance for
I,
Hammer.
I was the light skinned guy in the green outfit.
Tommy, you must. Are you serious? Or are you pulling my check? Because I know you've signed with Madonna and Michael Jackson, so MC Hammer is kind of like.
I'll give you a
it
quick
fits.
like your story. I loved it because it's like one of those stories where it's like I got a dream and here it's coming true and you feel it and you're like, okay. So I was in the paper when I was 13, saying I won a dance contest, won like $1,000 back in Sumter, South Carolina. Right, Sumter. Hey,
What
hey,
up?
hey, Ray Allen.
Hey, that's my man.
Ray, right?
He got game.
He got game. He also just got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Right.
With my boy Paul Pierce. from
Shout
Inglewood.
out to Ray.
Yes.
So anyway, years later, MC Hammer comes in the studio where I'm interning with Stevie B. I'm sleeping in the attic. I'm making bagels during the day and sleeping at night.
Come
right?
on. It's part of the game.
And Ham comes in. He's like, hey, can you do a Ham voice?
Nah, I can't. I'm
can't.
not good.
All right.
Pumps in a bump. Pumps in a bump.
So Ham's like, Tommy, why don't you come on up to the Bay Area with me and I'll put you in that next video. I'd be like, all right, yeah, I'd love that.
Wow.
I was there for 2 days. I was there for 7 days. I slept on the floor in the studio. I slept at the bodyguard's house.
Wow.
Young Pee Wee. Like,
That's cool.
and then Hammer dropped me off at the airport. He's like, here's a little walking money. He gave me $100. I was like, man, Ham, you realize you owe me like
at least $1,000.
like
least
like
$1,000.
$3,000, right?
Come on.
You know.
Come on.
But I walked away. You know what? It was an amazing experience. I was in a video with MC Hammer.
Come on.
Childhood, hero.
Hero.
Got to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
the experience
Outweighs the pay.
outweighs the
Yeah,
pay.
for
Absolutely.
sure.
Right?
And that's
I
a
mean,
lot.
Yeah.
That's honestly,
The
Tommy. That's a
power of the
lot of
youth.
stories
Yeah.
inside the Hollywood entertainment industry. That's why so many people think that perception-wise, most artists are rich or have financial stability. But really, what you just opened up was very true. That a lot of us are struggling,
Yeah.
and then you come around this environment that is rich and has all of these houses and cars and all of the bells and whistles, but at the end of the day, you're a struggling artist.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the perceptions looks like you're really not struggling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I think?
but
a lot of people don't know that.
you're going back to your street where you're
Yeah.
you're careful walking to your home.
Yes.
Because somebody might be walking behind you.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
We lived that.
Yep.
Denny Avenue. North Hollywood. You know what I'm talking about. Okay,
That's section 2.
We
really
did.
quick before we move on,
Okay.
because you touched on this.
This is so fun.
I just
Oh my
want I just want to
gosh.
do a quick. So I just gave mine. I would love to hear a time where you actually had something pay itself off in experience above cash. Right?
Good
Right?
I mean, I don't necessarily know if I have one particular experience, but I just remembered having the mindset at a young age of never taking anything for granted.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So, and I think that was something, because I got started when I was 12. And then ended when I was 22. And being a teenager, it's super, and having some success, it's really easy to sort of take that for granted.
Yeah.
And so
It's like that's
I read
life,
every
right?
single,
But it's not.
Yeah,
No.
every single time, and I knew that this could be
Privilege.
taken away at any second.
Right.
So I every time that we were on stage, especially one of those amphitheaters or those huge stadiums or
30,000,
Michael
40,000
Jackson,
people.
Madonna.
I
Come on.
always took a moment to be like, Eric,
Be present.
You're here.
you do not forget this.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Take this in because
That's
this
right.
is pretty awesome.
That's right.
My biggest was Jones Beach.
Jones Beach. Yeah, that was
Standing up.
that was incredible
I'm
because
telling you this.
Yes.
Just like that with the fog coming up.
Wow.
that was pretty amazing.
I get
Because we ended up
I get chills
not
right now
knowing-
thinking about it.
We did not know that we were co-headlining that performance, and
Wow.
like Pink, I think, opened up for us. Like all these crazy
Shaggy.
artists.
Wait, say it
Shaggy,
again. Pink opened up for
Yeah.
who?
us.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
Destiny's Child opened up for No Authority twice, but that's a whole different thing.
Wow.
Yeah, they were
way
big.
back
They
in the
were
day.
really big.
That moment, I agree with you. Sorry to cut you off, but yes,
That-
because we didn't know that we were co-headlining because we just felt like we were always constantly climbing,
Yeah.
almost there.
Yeah.
And that moment, yeah, it was pretty incredible. Sorry to take that.
Felt good. Feel good. D.
Absolutely.
What's your moment?
My moment, I would probably say, is when, again, I was able to.
I mean, I know you explained it a minute ago, but can you bring it into one cohesive, just quick?
I honestly, I could say one day I was sitting. It was Kids Choice Awards or The Big Help, and this time we were the first show before all that. And Kenan Thompson, big A-list star now.
Yeah.
And Kel Mitchell. From all that.
Yep, we were on all that tour. We know all those guys.
Yeah. I was actually given a check by Nickelodeon to not shop around, not to like to basically just show them the ropes of Kids Choice, Big Help, what to do, how to do it. Yeah. And when I sit back and I think about the success of Alex Mack, and then having this opportunity to like guide these young brothers and say, hey, this is what to do and how to do it, and I sit back and I think about it and I go, wow, like Alex Mack was such a success. Or maybe what I was doing, Nickelodeon, and said, hey, we want you. And then they flew us out to Viacom in Chicago, in their city, and opened up a store. And I met Sumner Redstone, the owner of Viacom. The bill comes out. It's $16,000. Okay? And I go, $16,000? I'm still hungry. My grandmother, who's Jamaican, British influence, kicks me under the table. And everyone at the table, I mean, it was so quiet. You could hear church mouse piss on cotton. Excuse my French, right? You got it. Church mouse piss on cotton, right? Like, and so Sumner Redstone rolls up his sleeves. This is the owner of Viacom, the third richest man in the world at this time. And he shows me his elbows and his hands. They had, he was burnt all the way up to his elbows and his hands. He came from Romania as an immigrant with nothing. Okay, one change of clothes. Okay. And he says, listen, kid, he says, keep thinking like that. You're going to go far. I went from that night, me and him were just continuously having a conversation. And everybody who was like, oh my God, you just ruined it, became my best friend, because the old guy is now, he's levitating to me and my young energy of just being pure and being honest. I come to my room, there's a basket with a letter from him, stating this. Now, at this time, I had no idea who Sumner Redstone was. Right. It was the owner of Viacom, which owns Nickelodeon, MTV, VH1. And that moment, I think stood out to me, because I started to understand that you have to be true to who you are, no matter what the environment or the circumstances are. Absolutely. And I started to realize that spirit that was guiding me, and when I released and relinquished what I wanted to do and started to follow what the spirit was leading me to do. You just let it go. I let it go, and God just guided me to all these wonderful places. And I love that. And that was my most important moment in my life, I think.
I love that. I love Natanya. And obviously we got a lot of stuff to cover. Yeah. But please tell us.
I'll try and give a quick version. So
take your time.
I think okay. So basically, the moment for me where the experience overruled the reward, right? Like the cash reward, so to speak. So I was 15 years old, and we were on hiatus from Alex Mack, and I booked another pilot. And this show was actually going to keep me from the last season of Alex Mack, and it was a huge ABC network show. And some of my idols, since we were just talking about this, some of my idols since I was a little kid were Prince, Tim Curry. It goes on and on. I had so many Claire Danes, of course. And so I booked this show, and Tim Curry played my dad. So for me, it was like just a full. I was just mind blown the whole time. I mean, I almost wasn't even present in rehearsal, because I was just like following him around. I just wanted to soak up every bit of who he
Tim
was.
Curry?
Yeah, just everything. I mean, he was everything to me. Yeah. And we signed the contracts, and we called Lynch Entertainment. Hi, Tommy.
Tommy boy.
And
is
said
Tommy on there?
And I'm looking at seeing how many good ones on here.
Who knows?
Good name, Tommy.
And we called Lynch Entertainment and said, look, we're not going to be able to re-sign contracts for Natanya to do the last season of Alex Mack. She's booked this show, Right. So I filmed the pilot, and then we make it to that week in Hollywood where everyone's just sitting waiting to see if their pilot got picked up. And they made the announcement that it got picked up. And I'm like, oh my God, the pilot got picked up. And then my mom calls me at school.
This is right after the okay. All right.
So it's like 4 months after.
Nice.
You film the pilot. So my mom calls me at school. She's like, hey, I'm going to come pick you up early. Yeah. And I didn't really understood. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew the show had gotten picked up because they leaked it. They told the press. So my mom picks me up from school, and I get in the car, and she said, "You were replaced from the show."
Oh,
I'd never been replaced ever once in my whole career, and I was replaced by my best friend at the time, who I also was in school with. So
now you gotta say the name of this person.
Marla.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, was it Marla?
Was it Marla? Was it?
Funny thing, we were talking about Marla, and Tommy was like, "Is Marla in Secret World of Alex Mack?" I was like, "No, but she did everything else."
Yeah, she did everything else, and I love her so much.
She's the best. She's so sweet.
She's the sweetest person in the whole
that's
world,
so
and she was
awkward
one of
and
my
weird.
best friends growing up, and it was a hard thing for us.
Yeah.
But that was the first moment in my life where I realized that God will give and God will take away if it's not meant for you.
Yeah.
Because I got replaced from that show, I was able to finish the last season of Alex Mack with my family.
Yes.
That would have never happened. I got to have an experience where Tim Curry played my father.
Yeah.
I would have never had that. So instead of and this was a motto for the rest of my life too, instead of just sitting in the self-pity of like, poor me, oh, my life is over. I really just got to get extremely grateful very quickly for what I had been given.
Yes.
And I it was no longer my right to decide whether or not it was enough that had been given to me.
You get excited about what's there, and you live in that.
Appreciate
I
it.
was grateful for what I had been
Grateful.
given, and
absolutely.
and not self-righteous and thinking I should have been given more.
That's a very cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It is.
Well, I mean, I was gonna go into moving on to the 101, just sort of what was some of the most difficult things that you had to experience at such a young age, like just piggybacking on what you just said.
on Alex Mack or just in general?
I think on Alex Mack,
Alex Mack?
specifically, talking about the show still for
Yeah.
Some of the hardest things I had to experience.
Well, I mean, I can also ask some follow-up questions as well, which would be
Right.
like maybe some of your being so young, being in front of a
Some
camera,
of the first
moments,
like first kiss, first.
because
we
you
didn't
hear those.
have those. They didn't give us any of those. I didn't have a
No.
first.
They-
although they
they-
gave me
they-
some
they-
weird
They didn't give us
boyfriends
those. We
on-
wanted them.
On Alex Mack, I always got so we, I started the show when I was 11. I ended when I was, because it was 4 seasons, but you have to remember we did 24 episodes a season. So this is like 6, 7 years, or however long it was. It was a long time. So I was young, and my boyfriends on the show were always like 35 years old. It was just really odd, because they looked 12, and they just stuck me with the weirdest.
That is weird.
That's really
They
strange.
stuck me with the
Who was
weirdest
35 and
boyfriends.
looks 12?
What was
I have to know at least one
I don't know
name.
if I want to
That's okay. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
That's smart.
But
That's smart, sis.
Yeah,
Good job. Good
I
job.
don't want to burn him like that, but
Yeah.
it was just
That's actually-
there was a
Ralph
lot of them.
Ralph Macchio was 35. and
You'll
looked
never
12.
know who it is because they gave me so many weird boyfriends on the show. I was watching.
You just have to go back and watch the show to find out.
Yeah, I was watching an episode the other day, and there was a boyfriend character in it. I'm like, I don't even remember this guy. It's just they gave me so many weird characters, but we didn't really have too many firsts on the show as far as like we went, But a lot of our firsts happened, backstage or behind the scenes.
Well,
That's the
you go.
follow up. I knew something was coming here.
Yeah, some fun little inside scoops.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm gonna let him sprinkle that on you. Like
Let's
that.
do it.
He just learned about Salt Bay.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Some showmances in the works, or
No?
was
Nothing?
it like compare it to, because you did go to for lack of a better term, regular high school at some point, or
Never.
Never did.
I went, this is kind of a sad story. I went when I was always a year and a half.
Bring us down, Natanya.
I was always a year and a half ahead. So I graduated high school at 16. So I guess is that 2 years ahead? A year and a half,
Yeah,
whatever. I
2 years
graduated
ahead.
at 16.
Yeah.
I think you were at my graduation.
I think I was.
Yeah,
may
I'm
have
pretty
been.
sure you were.
And you were at mine, by
For
the way.
sure, I was at yours 1,000%. So I went to a regular middle school when I was like 9 or 10 years old.
So in middle school, remember when you were with your friends at recess or
Mm-hmm.
break or whatever, and then like being like, oh my god, I held that person's hand, or something. Did was that same energy on set as well, or were you guys
he's
straight
yeah.
up?
ready to
Or were you like
explode
straight up?
right now.
Are we straight up professional?
I got something
Yeah.
for you guys.
Darris is
Yeah,
ready
I
to
think
get
I know
out.
what Darris is.
Darris is
gonna
ready to
say, which
explode
is-
right now.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you like this. Like she said, it was more off the camera, off the
Yeah.
set, because we were very professional.
Yeah, on
and
set
we were
we
very
were.
private about what we did personally
Yeah.
on set.
Yes.
Because as children, you know, we're already in the limelight, and in front of everything we did was always in the limelight.
Yeah.
So the things that we held private to ourselves,
Yeah.
we really kept private.
Kind of like Jones Beach backstage,
Gotcha.
where the boats were.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
exactly
you're
the
going to be
space.
scrutinized. You know, it's
Yes.
going to
Yeah.
hit the public. It's not going to be something that's going to be just, you know, quiet.
They want the juice.
quietly kept.
They want something more
So,
than that.
so for me, I remember a lot of my
juice.
best friends, like my friend Cassie Wingate, he was in Camp Nowhere or whatever. He had the biggest crush on Jessica Alba. So we got invited to go to San Dimas, where she lived. A lot of people don't know she's from San Dimas. And we went to Raging Waters. And, you know,
fun.
seeing her in a bathing suit and hanging
Anal
out with her and
pass.
all that. These girls are my sisters, you know what I'm saying?
course.
But
I
hooked
hate
my
you
boy up.
so
Yes.
much right
Yeah,
now.
I know you
I
got,
hate
I know
juice.
Right
you had
now.
the crush, brother. If I would only known, Tommy boy, you could have rolled with us. But I am gonna say, my buddy Kaz Wingate, you know what I'm saying? He had the biggest crush on Jessica, and they, you know,
He had a big crush. I wouldn't say biggest.
yeah,
And everybody on set actually had the biggest crush on Cass.
Yes.
So that
This
was
dude
not
was-
me.
this
not,
dude was-
not
this dude
me.
was-
No, you were
but
too busy with the weirdos that were. Never mind.
This kid was like, you know, him
Everybody
and
else.
Andrew,
We'll
him,
get to
him-
that.
him and Andrew Keegan were like, you know, the heartthrobs. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yes. Yeah.
And so, long story short, you know, he was Levi's model, kid
Yeah.
model. He was
Sure.
like just this hot kid. He was in Camp Nowhere. So, you know, I'm hooking him up with Jessica Alba, and they hooked up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they
I'm sitting there
dated.
going, damn. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm
You're a
like the
good
one girl
friend.
that I like. You know, likes him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, but
yeah, but
as a
you
friend,
but you did it.
yeah, I hooked it up.
You
know
did
what I'm
it.
saying? So
Yeah.
eventually,
So-
as I got older, a lot of Cass's girls started to swing my way. So we were cool, and we never had any issues about that.
Well, that's
But
good.
I did remember that.
But to answer your question, nobody dated. There were no
Nope.
long-term relationships.
It's all very professional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there
Which-
was definitely like some crushes and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
Darris
yeah.
was my brother from
Oh,
day
man.
one.
Day
I
one.
mean, he was my
Man.
bodyguard, my brother, my,
I would have
my
to literally
best friend.
keep all those people off
Did-
Natanya.
Darris, have you ever had buttered matzah in bed with Natanya?
No, buttered matzah.
Buttered matzah
mother-
in bed with Natanya.
No, sir. Oh no, I've never.
My
But her
man.
mom was so cool, man.
She
They
was
would let
cool.
me in the
Always.
house.
I was
let
so-
me hang out with her in the bedroom.
always.
I was weirded out. I was like,
You could shut the door.
yeah, I was like, yo,
You could go and
I'm
you
like,
could shut the door.
Yo, I would keep the door open because I'm like, I don't
Me
want
too.
nothing to happen. I don't want you to think I'm weird or anything. Because
You're
I was
coming-
really, I had the car, so I was driving her all of the cool spots, and they were in there, you know, chilling out, just like literally security. I was literally security for her. Like, you guys mess with her, and it's on.
Meanwhile, we shut the door and we have matzah, and it was
Now I
buttered.
know what
Buttered.
happened. Now I know
That's
happened
really what
with the
happened
bushes.
behind closed doors.
yeah, we were eating
We had,
matzah.
we had buttered matzah.
yeah.
Give your mother our love.
Yes.
Now, there's more to that story that will come
Yeah.
out
Come
here in a
back
little
to.
bit. But
Okay.
let's close up the
Closing this-
Alex Mack 101 segment
Okay.
because
Okay.
this is going forever, and I
Yeah.
feel like we could sit here and talk
We
about this
could.
forever. At what point did you know that it was the final season?
We just talked about this.
Wow.
At what point did you realize that it was?
We knew going into
and
the
also how did that change things and how did you react to that as well?
we going into the final season, we knew it was our final season, and most of the cast decide, like for me, for example, I didn't take any other so I wouldn't be written out of any episodes to go do anything else because I wanted to just
Be
be
there for the- yeah.
the entirety of the final season. Whereas the other seasons, I was like, no, try and have them write me out of these 4 episodes so I can go do this. I wasn't doing that. So we knew that going in to the final season. We knew it was the final season. I think the first 5 episodes, it was still like, okay, yeah, this is what we do, showing up for work. And then as 6 came and 7 and 8 and 9, it started getting like
Heavier and
heavier and heavier.
Yeah.
13 only in the
13.
final. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lucky
Usually-
number.
Usually we would shoot 26.
Yeah.
But the thing was that how we knew is that they brought us into the office and said, hey, you guys want to keep going? There's opportunity here to renew the contract and keep it going. Or would you guys like to kind of, you know, we know as you're getting as teenagers and you want to go to college. Some of us are getting at that college age where it's time to submit this, take the SAT and submit to what college you wanted. Did you want to go and do Alex Mack in college years since you sacrificed your junior high all the way up to high school years? And, you know, just collectively we took a vote, and a lot of us kind of wanted the life that we never had. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing all your friends, go to high school, go to prom, play on the football teams and stuff like that. We had to sacrifice that. So naturally, looking back, then we wanted that, and now looking at how great of an opportunity it was, and how you're not promised these opportunities, would we have done it differently?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we would have extended the show and kept it going. Because you don't get a chance where you have this show that goes 4 or 5 seasons, and then it carries on 20 years later, and where people are saying it's a part of me. I grew with this.
I can't tell you how many people surprise me that are like, I had a picture with you guys, or think at the Universal, and like, how do you know the cast of The Secret World of Alex Mack? And I'm like, how do you know the show? Secret World of Alex Mack. He's like, I was like such a huge fan. Like so many. Like
we thought it was secret, but it wasn't.
It was not a secret. It was not a secret.
But it's also a really good feeling when you got parents, or adults that are now, that were kids then and are adults now, and they'll say, hey, I grew up to this.
Yeah.
It helped me through my life. Or I would watch this show with my mom and dad, and we would have that good old family. Because think about it this day and time. When do children are not on their phones, sitting with their parents or their whole family together, having a dinner, watching a TV program, they all grow together.
Even when they're out to eat, they're like this.
Now the restaurants provide that.
It's they do sometimes.
They do now.
And now there's a whole new generation too that's watching the show too. Like my boyfriend's niece Grayson, she bought her mom, got the series for her, and now she's watching it. She's 8 years old.
Is it on iTunes or where?
Oh yeah. So the full series is out now through Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Big shout out Ken Lippman.
And then you can buy the first 2 seasons on iTunes, I think, or it's everywhere. You can. Yeah.
Excellent.
So
excellent.
yeah.
Plug. So speaking.
No, that's a good plug.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. So we're talking about the finale, right? So
this the last episode.
How do they pull it together?
Very last scene.
How do they bring it together?
Oh man, this was a movie. It was yeah.
She went like this.
Yeah. What?
And then things like.
Well, what happens was Daniel Atron, who was the actual head of the chemical company and the chemical plant, she had put out an APB for Alex Mack throughout her whole. This whole time of the explosion of the chemical being dosed, they were looking for Alex Mack. They narrowed it down.
And what was the chemical name?
It was called
GC-161.
Nice.
I told you.
Yeah. And so what ends up happening in the last episode, they actually kidnap Alex.
Okay.
They actually kidnap Alex and her whole family, and they were going to offer. And if it wasn't for Alex,
that's dark for Nickelodeon.
Super dark.
Yes,
super
I
dark.
know.
This is why, as we got older,
And
you
her
could
parents
still
didn't even know until
until she got captured.
Yep.
Which was really which was really brilliant on the writing, because the sooner that Alex's secret got out, I mean, the narrative of the story would change. So how can you keep it kiddie?
There were only 2
after
people that knew,
point?
right?
Right, her sister and myself.
You knew.
Right. And so luckily, I knew after they had kidnapped the family, I knew that why she was gone, why the whole family was gone. So I broke into the chemical plant with her boyfriend at that time. And with the help of all of the friends, we were able to save the family before they blew up the chemical with them being in it. They were going to actually off the whole Mack family.
Yeah.
Dark.
So my question is though, because she pointed her finger and it went.
So the
Now-
very last scene is you see her with an antidote, which means she can take it and dissolve her powers, or
she
keep
doesn't.
her powers.
Wilson Ramirez.
But you don't see whether or not she takes the antidote.
No, but she points her finger and a laser goes out.
What's
And,
up, fam?
my guess was that it made everyone in the city fart.
Well, what it was emulated was that
oh my God.
she had the
She
chance.
did have burps, right? She had bubbly burps or something like that. Didn't she have some kind of?
Well, she would turn into liquid. She also, like you said, had the actual ability to shoot out like a lightning bolt, lasers, right?
And
She would
make
change
people-
colors when she got
she would
embarrassed.
change colors.
Yeah.
She get embarrassed.
Yeah.
She could levitate things. But what it was emulating in the end was that she didn't take the antidote.
didn't take
that
the
she still
antidote.
has
So she
the
still has the
which
power,
is just set up
which
for
might open the
to
story.
continue. And with Marvel and all of these different shows and superheroes and stuff out here now, we felt like the reboot at Alex Mack 20 years was a perfect time to be able to say, hey, let's do it from an adult standpoint.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a perfect segue to moving.
Dun dun dun.
Moving on.
Okay, picture it. 1998, July 15th. it's a wrap.
What was your next move?
What happened July
What'd you do?
16th?
How'd you feel?
July 16th, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was so how can I say it? Success is responsibility. I wasn't depressed because I realized what blessings I had. But growing up in the inner cities and all your friends are home, their homes are just shattered from drug addictions, not having a father in the family, broken home families, being poor, not having the financial stability. I had a burden that I felt guilty for being successful. I felt guilty for having this opportunity to be on TV at a young age, being able to help my family move out of the community.
You shouldn't have felt guilty, but you felt that as a human being because you see this all around you.
Yeah,
and now you want to help them.
And I did, and I was burdened with always helping.
How did you help?
You hear like with Hammer how these guys went broke. I think people don't really understand that if everybody around you was suffering and you weren't, what would you do? Would you continue to be self-centered and say, hey, this is mine and I can only take care of me? Or would you actually open up and pour out the blessing and share? Because I believe we're blessed to be a blessing. So I started to, I had to figure out a way to help my friends and not just give them a fish, right?
Right.
But show them how to fish. So
absolutely.
My last season, I don't know if she knows this, but I had petitioned in my contract for a desk and a fax machine. And what I would do on lunch breaks, I would go to my desk and my fax machine up in the production office, and I would fax off a proposal to every record label.
You knew it.
And I wrote a proposal with one of my friends, Danny Williams. We wrote our first business proposal called Unlimited Forces. It was a street promotion for record labels. Okay. We actually had the contract from Columbia Records for Destiny's Child. One day I get a call from Hakeem Jaheem Jamal from Sony Records. And I'm on set, and he's like, yes, is this Darris Love? I'm like, who's this? He goes,
wait, hold on, I'm sorry. What phone are you actually using? I need to have a full picture.
I had a StarTAC.
Yeah, StarTAC?
I had a StarTAC,
I just
right?
have to
and I had
visualize
the two-way, and I had the two-way at the time.
two-way?
Remember those back in the day?
Yes.
Good point,
sorry,
bro.
I just wanted, because I had the Nokia, so I was just,
You got a two-way? Who did you play Battleship with?
Oh man, dude, you taking me back.
I used to play
now.
Battleship with Pink back in the day.
Oh, dude, like two-way, my boy Kaz Wingate.
That's the only thing that you can play on. Like the two-way is like a leash. And then
but that was the beginning of smartphone eras. That was the beginning of
yes.
like some of the coolest stuff. You could beam, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Long story short.
Sorry to interrupt.
Taking you back to your story.
So I get a call from Hakeem Jaheem Jamal from Columbia Records. I'm like, who's this? Hakeem Jaheem Jahu? What? He goes, listen, first of all, I want to meet. Stop sending me those proposals. Don't send me another one of those proposals. And secondly, I want to meet the most persistent person ever. So I go to his office. I come in his office, and his assistant, Pam Oliver, I'll never forget, she goes, who are you? I go, I'm Darris Love. I have a 3 o'clock with Hakeem Jaheem Jamal. By this time, I got his name down. Right. She goes, but you're a kid. I go, I get this all the time. She goes, shouldn't you be in school or something? I go, listen, I got to get to work. You got a job? I got my car keys. You drove yourself here. Your phone's ringing. What? You should be in school somewhere. So Hakeem Jaheem Jamal overhears this. He comes out in his office and he goes, you're Darris Love? I go, yeah. He goes, man, come in my office. He goes, dude, shouldn't you be in school? I go, you too? I go, listen, man, I got 5 minutes. I got to be at work. You got a job? Right? So I said, look, I'm on a TV show right now. You're on TV? Long story short, I go, Hakeem, I'm not even going to sit down. So I'm actually interviewing him. This is a job that I'm supposed to be interviewing. I go, let me ask you one question. What are the demographics that you sell to? What are the consumer base? What age are they? You go 16 to 24. I go, kids. I said, who better to market and sell and promote to your demographic than a kid? He goes, you're hired. So Columbia Records led from Columbia to Def Jam to Loud Records to Buzz Tone Immortal, Happy Immortal Records. And I had about 8 accounts that we were making $1,000 every 2 weeks, passing out CDs and flyers at our pep rallies. So each one of my friends, I gave that $1,000 to. And then this is not giving them a fish. They started to fish. Do you know each one of those individuals? One of my friends, Jason Brown, he's a VP of Champion Sports. Another friend, Kaz Wingate, he's an EMT. He kind of got out of Hollywood. He started very young like me, didn't want to do anything. EMT, paramedic, he's got 4 or 5 kids. He's got 3 bars, break room bars. If you guys are ever in San Pedro, Wilmington, he owns his own bars, his own liquor license. Another one of my friends, Danny Williams, who wrote the proposal with me. He's one of the top leading directors. He directs a lot of big rap videos, music videos, movies, etc. Each one of those individuals are successful. because a real leader reduplicates themselves. Not saying I'm a leader, but it felt I was so obligated.
Well, you created a map, right? You created a map, and you gave it to your friends and said, "Look, here's the map, like the Goonies."
Yes,
this is
favorite
Chester
movie.
Copperpot.
Did you know Josh Brolin? Did you know that he was the
I
older
don't know
brother?
personally.
Yeah. Are you kidding? Chester, yeah.
Dude,
But look,
I just figured that out like this year.
here's the treasure
products
map.
of the 90s.
Here's the treasure map.
Chester Copperpot.
Chester Copperpot.
Down here,
Baby Ruth.
down here.
Here's
Whose time
our
is
time.
it? It's our time.
It's our time.
Up there, it's their time. But down here, whose time is it? It's our time. Okay, Natanya, right now it's your time to tell your next move. What was your next move?
The week after we wrapped, I was on another show right away.
Oh well,
So
so
I
you're
just
good.
I went right back to work. I didn't do anything inspirational like
So-
Darris.
So I'm
I
good.
wasn't like faxing. I didn't have a desk.
So
I maybe took a nap.
if
and
you
then
had
went
had
right
social
back to
media back
work.
then, you would have been like,
Oh, that's funny.
yeah, no,
you
I
would
mean,
have put up the fingers.
I literally
right?
went right back to work.
Good for
And
you.
then I
Well, high
and then I
five for that.
finished out
That's
a little
awesome.
bit of high school in not a regular high school by any means. I went to
Yeah.
a small little high school for actors. It was like 30 kids. Marlo went there with me, my boyfriend at the time, Ben Gould, who was like my very first boyfriend, who I'm sure you guys remember.
Of course.
And so so that's what I did after Alex Mack, but I worked a lot. I mean, I
Yeah.
kept working. You know,
Yeah, me
just-
too.
Yeah.
So I was on Sisters, a reoccurring. Buffy, Angel, Buffy the Vampire. Yeah.
Now, did you guys remain friends though? Like, did you still hang out after?
course.
We never.
of course.
Our whole life.
Really?
Like
Our
I'm
whole
telling
life.
you, man,
Yeah.
Natanya.
Like Oakwoods?
Oakwood.
Oakwoods.
Still hang out. Ultimate
Yeah.
hangout.
I mean,
So-
dude. Now we
of-
get to
now we're
the
getting to
reason
the-
why we got the co-host over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
This
so,
is gonna be so good.
This is gonna be amazing.
Natanya, most beautiful, gorgeous Natanya Ross, and I met at the Oakwood Apartments.
We did.
We did. And we met in the parking structure.
Mm-hmm.
A parking lot.
At the very top
A
of the
parking lot.
Is it parking
It's
lot?
a parking. No.
A.
A. Letter A.
Oh, letter A.
The A parking lot.
She remembers.
So
You remember.
for all of our friends that hung out at Oakwood
Come
with
on.
us, they'll know
You
what
know
a
what's up.
parking lot is.
Come
A
on.
parking lot. Now,
So
I
many
mean,
memories.
for me and for Tommy, and I'm hoping, and I know for Natanya, and I'm hoping for you too, the Oakwood
Tim?
Apartments
Shalom, Ma.
was just such a.
Yeah. I'm over here giving shouts out to everybody live streaming, man.
Darris has his own show.
Darris
going on
has
right
his
now.
own podcast. He's
What up?
so
What up, Ma? How you doing? You good? All right, fam.
I forgot what I was saying.
No, you
Okay,
were saying
A parking-
It
Oakwood
is such a
Apartments.
staple for our.
Yes.
like-
And it's no longer
like,
called Oakwood.
early-
No,
No.
they got rid of the whole
It's like
franchise.
Premiere now, right?
It's like
Yeah.
Premier
Yeah.
Garden.
Yeah.
Like no, it's
We could do a
Oakwood.
movie on Oakwood.
We
I mean,
could do
a
both.
movie
Before
on
us,
Oakwood.
Boys to Men were there. Before
Really?
us, Boys to Men would be there.
Wow.
And then it was us. And we were like,
Well,
we
can
tried.
I tell like a little bit of
Yes.
an R-rated story about
Please.
Oakwood?
Absolutely.
The first time I ever smoked weed,
R-rated. It's legal
the
now.
first and only time ever, no, I'm just kidding,
Ever.
was with Bone Thugs. Like on the
Yes.
top of a
Bum, bum, bum,
like
bum,
the R
bum,
building
bum,
or
bum,
something. And
I
they-
actually did their life story. I was
They
part of
did
that.
a song
Lazy,
for us.
Yeah.
Lazy did our remix.
Really?
Yep.
Good
Oh, I
dudes,
love-
man.
And it was
Good
a little
dudes.
We'll talk
stronger
about that
than
later.
just regular marijuana, so I don't know exactly what was happening there.
Maybe
and
a
then the Outlaws hung out there too,
Oh,
and
yeah,
we just,
Big
I mean,
Tupac.
I mean, so many like iconic, epic
Yeah.
People.
Paris
Speaking of
one,
Pac,
I mean,
we'll get
just-
back to that.
Yeah,
go.
I've heard things, but
Let's go.
let's finish this first.
Yeah, so
But that's the
Anyway,
thing.
yeah.
Well, not only like amazing people, but amazing relationships.
yeah,
have
I mean, I
established.
could honestly care less
D-
about all of that.
DJ
This
Scotty
is where
B, Scott Budnick,
oh yeah,
he produced
yeah.
the freaking Hangover.
Yeah.
I would like he used to
Wow.
DJ in his apartment
Yeah.
at Oakwood, and I'm watching the awards.
and Rodney Jerkins
And
was
I'll-
there too.
And, I,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
who did
Wait,
our
that's
first
Scott
album?
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
executive like
I looked.
Dude, the
gotcha.
was
Right there, exactly.
amazing networking.
Crazy.
Before
Yes.
networking,
Right?
we had no idea.
That was
Yeah.
Facebook.
that was
That
Facebook.
was
That was
That was
Facebook, yes.
Facebook.
That was
but do you
Facebook.
remember the
Think
first
about
time
if
you and I
fans knew
met?
if fans knew
Where-
that we were all at Oakwood.
They couldn't get in. They didn't have a key.
No, but I'm just saying, just
had to
imagine
have
that
a
with
key.
TMZ before
Well-
TMZ.
Trust me,
Right,
you
yeah.
had to have
You
a
could
key.
slip
had
a
to.
little something to the gate
In the
guard
South
and just,
Gate,
Yeah.
and the South Side.
no, the North Gate. Maybe you
Yeah,
could sneak
just-
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Golf carts.
When did the?
Still
When,
in the
do
golf
you
cart?
remember
Oh, yeah.
the first time you and I met and like who it was through?
Yeah.
Because I have a hard time picturing
I don't
it.
remember who it was through. I don't remember who it was through. I
Okay,
don't.
let's get to the point here.
Okay.
Here's the gold in this entire thing here. So, Eric and Natanya were boyfriend and girlfriend.
We were. That's where we fell in love.
It was love at first
It was
sight.
love at first
It
awkward
really,
sight.
it really was.
In the parking structure.
and we were together for longer than people might think. It was
mean-
almost a year.
Yeah,
I would say
Yeah.
around a year. I mean,
that's a long time.
we were on
that time.
tour
We
for
were
like 6 months of it.
19.
But
Well, yeah. So you guys were.
Yeah, we were
on
on
So
tour.
you
Touring
didn't have to-
Madonna and Michael Jackson and Natanya Hot Ross.
Well, we were. It was.
your love swing.
It was just Britney Spears. It wasn't those. It was just,
Britney Spears as well. You guys open for?
yeah, for years.
oh yeah.
Wow.
It's not about us.
Okay.
No, this is about
about
you
us.
guys.
It's about me.
It's about you guys.
Yeah.
I just,
Darris, we got to
wanna
do
go,
another episode.
Yeah, because
I just-
they got the
clearly
connect-
this is them
I'd
right
like
now.
to go on record and say that Natanya Ross is my last girlfriend that I have ever had.
This is true.
Wow.
This is true.
I will
Yes.
also go on record and say that Eric Stretch is the only gay man I've ever dated.
Wait a minute.
Seriously.
Wait a minute.
Ever
Wait,
dated seriously.
wait, Eric, are you officially coming out right now?
Oh, Lord.
I mean, she
Please.
just said that.
I think we're a
so
little past that.
I think. Well,
But yeah,
by the
no.
way, America,
just
I'm a homosexual.
But we were our relationship was like two high school best friends on a constant sleepover. Like
Yeah,
that's
we
what it
just-
was. When we were together, it was almost like the rest of the world didn't exist. Like people felt legitimately left out of whatever was happening here. And it wasn't even this crazy like
it wasn't on
sexual
purpose.
thing.
No,
it was just this
Just
a
chemistry
connection.
that
Yeah.
you couldn't explain. Still to this day, it's just it was magnetic
It's
between
very
us.
interesting when when moments in your life you can remember them verbatim, and also like the inside jokes. I feel like sometimes inside jokes can go in and out of people's relationships, and Natanya's and I's have always stuck.
They've always stuck.
Always
yeah.
stuck.
And to be perfectly honest, I'm sure you don't care if I say this, but I think for the majority of the time we were together, I knew you were gay.
Well, yeah,
I don't
that
think
was,
I
No,
cared.
guys,
I
this
didn't
is
care.
deep. This is
Yeah,
deep.
well, it was
I
This
didn't
is
care.
deep. Tommy boy.
breaking news.
breaking news,
breaking
but
news.
also
Breaking
on a
news.
personal note for me too. I
Darris.
mean, that was one of the most
Right.
terrifying times of
Yeah.
my life. is
TMZ does not have this.
Wait, I want to hear this.
It was one of the most terrifying times of my life too, because I really truly had like feelings for
Yeah.
my
Right.
girlfriend, for Natanya, but
Right.
also accepting my truth at the same
Absolutely.
time,
Yeah.
and not wanting to hurt somebody I love so much, but also trying to be
Absolutely.
honest at the same. It was
Interesting time.
really, really. Like, and I would never change it for the world
Never.
either. I'm so glad that was my experience,
Yeah.
and I had such a positive experience.
It's
with you.
interesting when you guys were talking about the cell phones and the two-way pagers and stuff. I remember the very first. Okay, this is some gold right here. So the very first cell phone I ever got was one of those bricks
With the snake?
like a gray
yeah.
brick
Yes.
with just
Yeah,
that
the
like
Motorola.
black thing that like was ridiculous.
Antenna.
The very first phone call I ever made to anyone
What's up, Dominic?
was
We love you
on
too, bro.
that brick phone, and it was to you.
Oh,
And I remember it was like 714-815.
Yep.
That's
yeah.
close.
That is
Natanya,
close.
say hello to
Let's-
Dominic.
let's
He
not
says
give
he
the
grew up
last
to all
four
of us.
digits.
Oh, hi, Dominic.
He says I grew up to all of you guys.
How you doing, Dom?
So yeah. So it was a very, very special relationship and very deep, deep connection.
Yes.
Still to this day. And
Yes, that's
and
why-
it was a
that's why-
special moment when you called me too, and you came out.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, okay.
Do you know
else?
how he came out to me? And I'm just gonna throw this out there because
Well, it's your fault. You were the nosy one.
Yeah, I think I did. I have heard this story. I don't fully remember, but I,
I
know,
wasn't nosy. No.
Cool.
Actually, Danny and I, we would room together
that's right,
most of the
that's right,
time.
that's right.
We were in, I think, New Orleans, and my dad, my biological father, was there visiting. He saw the show. He came back, and we had dinner at Olive Garden, I think.
Probably.
And we bought drinks
good.
for some girls at a table. They came back to the hotel, and we're hanging out.
I know.
And this girl, I remember her name, Lindsay.
They were very
Her name was
attractive.
Lindsay Lejeune. Extremely attractive.
Sometimes they weren't always attractive.
No, but these girls were actually very attractive, and Danny and I are in there with these girls, chatting, having conversation as you do as gentlemen. And Eric walks in and is like, "Tommy, can I talk to you for a minute?" I'm like,
I remember this.
"All
I
right."
was ready. It wasn't about
Yeah.
you.
And he grabs my hand. He walks me down to the end of the hall, down to this little window at the end of the hall.
Yep.
And then he sits me down for about 35 minutes and explains to me all these things that I
What a good person I am.
that I knew already.
Yeah.
And then Lindsay walked out and she's like, "Oh, we got to go." I was like, "I'll see you later." But you know
so
what?
glad you remember that so well.
That was a good moment.
Yeah.
That was a good moment.
But it was worth it from a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Love
Yeah.
is sacrifice.
Absolutely.
Love is sacrifice.
Absolutely.
You love somebody, you let
Well, now I'm
you
getting
do anything.
embarrassed.
You're getting embarrassed.
Yeah,
now?
now I'm getting a little
Why are you
embarrassed.
getting embarrassed?
I don't know.
Okay, let's move.
Sorry.
Let's move on.
Moving on.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay.
So going back to, well, you mentioned Tupac before, but
Yeah.
you have to talk about it. You
Yeah,
have to talk
yeah,
about
it was-
Coachella and
no
the
doubt.
whole nine.
No doubt. So how it started was I got tired of people saying I look like a Tupac Kobe Bryant lookalike. Right? Because I'm like Darris Love, great name.
I didn't
great
think about
brand.
I never
that
thought about
until
that, but
this
now it's
Right.
making sense.
I
Now
got
you
the
won't
Kobe
stop
Now I
Bryant,
can't stop thinking that.
Tupac lookalike on the
Yes.
internet.
Yeah.
So instead of fighting it, I just started to unite with it.
Yeah.
And one day, I'm in
So like
Vegas.
rapping and dunking at the same time?
Something like that. I was playing celebrity basketball games, and like I
right.
said, one of my best friends, Kaz Wingate, we were in a rap group as kids while I was doing Alex Mack. Even before Alex Mack, it was called Playground Players.
Okay.
And we had a song, "Are you a playground player? Oh yeah, well I'm a playground player. Oh yeah, well we some playground players." And so we would open up for Immature.
That sounds pretty hardcore.
It was
right
hardcore.
there,
Immature.
actually.
Like we were like crisscross at this time, right? He's like
Immature.
half black, half
So
white,
90s.
curly, Italian Milano kid. I'm like the dark skinned kid,
Did y'all trip it up? Is it someone join around? But
No, we didn't do that. We didn't
Y'all
put
didn't do
none of
that?
that in there. We was real smooth. we was
Just
to the
real
ladies.
like old school hip hop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And long story short, I had the rapping background, but I always like when Magic Johnson became my business manager. Always
Wait, let's rewind really quick
Yeah.
because you just kind of stepped into that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now,
So-
Magic Johnson is kind of an icon. right?
Yes, he's a big icon.
How did you meet Magic? Like, how did that come
My
about?
aunt's an interior designer, so she would design Eddie Murphy, Shaq, Denzel Washington, Carmelo, and all of these guys' homes, and I would go with her to do installations. And this is when I discovered that richness is a mentality, not a material. Because my aunt wasn't wealthy as these guys, but she was actually designing and decoring their home, their inner
So
dwellings.
wealth is here,
Yes.
not here in the
It's
pocket.
not in the pockets.
Okay.
Wealth is a mentality. It's
All right.
not a material.
All right.
It's how you carry yourself.
Okay.
It's your morals, your ethic fiber, right?
Okay.
Long story short, Magic Johnson heard about me throwing these concerts because after I got into promotions of doing the street promotions, I had all of the artists in town. The labels paid for their room and board. So I would take them to do in-stores. Like one of my favorite stories was with Beyonce, with Destiny's Child. I don't know if you know this. I took her to USC to perform for the student body, the whole Destiny's Child. I drove them in my Pathfinder, and her father comes to me. I'll never forget this, Mr. Knowles. He goes, "Hey, man, my daughter and my niece cannot stop talking about you being some guy named Raymond Alvarado. What are they talking about? Are you some guy on TV?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Thank you." He goes, "Now, can you give me an autograph for my niece and my kids?" So I give Beyonce, okay, and Kelly Williams, all the girls, right, an autograph as I'm taking them to do the in-stores. Long story short, my aunt tells Magic Johnson about how I'm throwing these concerts and how I'm on TV with all this money and I'm, spending my money crazy, helping people and, the whole story, the whole MC Hammer, got to take care of your community. You know what I mean? You're obligated, right? So long story short, Magic says, "Come in." We sit down, we talk for 2 hours, eating liquids. And he says, "I want to represent you for what you're going to do outside of acting, not in entertainment. You have a vision, and I really want to get behind you and help you." So, long story short, Magic was my manager. Now, speed up to meeting Kobe Bryant at one of those celebrity basketball games. This is how the Kobe and Tupac thing came in. So Magic says, "Hey, I got a friend I want you to meet, man. You remind me so much of him. You look just like him." I'm playing in the Magic Johnson's Midnight Summer Celebrity Basketball game. And after the celebrities play their game, the real A-lister celebrity basketball stars come and plays their game. So Magic goes, "Hold on." As I'm going under the tunnel, he goes, "Hold on, my friend's here. I want you to meet him." It's Kobe Bryant. His first year, okay, to the Lakers coming from Charlotte. Now, Kobe at this time, only those that really knew Kobe from playing in high school were like Kobe fans.
Was it Marion?
wasn't.
We played Marion?
He played,
Marion? I think it was Marion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of people didn't really know like how they knew about LeBron. Like the internet, it wasn't as deep as the LeBron hype. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you didn't have the internet where people could just like pre-promote who LeBron was.
Okay.
Kobe was kind of like this new guy to the Lakers that we knew were good. He was a young kid that was coming to the Lakers. Never got drafted to college, just came straight to the pros. That's what you kind of knew about Kobe. So I shake his hand, we look at each other, we're like, damn, this guy does look like me.
He's a little
taller, right? I actually got pulled over by a police officer who thought I was Kobe Bryant in my Mercedes. And he goes, yeah, can you make out this, sign this autograph for me? So I don't know if you're talking about Darris Love. So I go, oh, who do you want? To this day, this police officer is riding around thinking he got a Kobe Bryant autograph.
Was it on a ticket or just on a piece of paper?
It was on a ticket pad or a piece of paper.
Okay,
so
officer, that is.
And I'm sorry, but I did forge Kobe Bryant's signature. And Kobe, I'm sorry, but I didn't want a real ticket.
And Kobe, if you paid that, D thanks you.
Yeah, but so get into the Tupac thing. So now I do a video.
Yeah.
Where I'm in Magic Convention. I'm working. I invested in a women's shoe company called Velvet Angels, another one of my entrepreneur ventures. We actually sold the company to Shoe Dazzle. Velvet Angels. I'm walking around the shoe convention. This guy comes to me. He goes, "Hey man," he goes, "Look, bro, I love one of your films called Janky Promoters. You know, it's with Ice Cube and Mike Epps, where I play a character that they call me Tupac. They say if you go talk to Jeezy, they're gonna think Tupac's alive. So
you're pulling a gun when you say
I'm pulling
Tupac.
a gun. I got a gun on this guy.
Okay.
Long story short, I go viral on the internet from this video that I do in Vegas talking about this guy, about how he's like, you should play Tupac. Like, you're in Janky Promoters, that role that you play with Ice Cube and Mike Epps is exactly what Tupac would do. Mike Epps calls you Tupac in that, and then just a light bulb goes off like, damn, you know what? This is probably why I've been my whole life been called this Tupac Kobe Bryant lookalike thing that might be play Tupac in his life story. So I start training to play Tupac. I start losing 30 pounds in a boxing gym to be his weight. I start getting that ripped six-pack for that thug life tat. I start going into the music studios.
Eric can definitely relate.
I start going into the music studios, learning and meeting everybody, all the engineers and all of the people Tupac worked with. And I started, not only did I go and do the development to become a character, but I was filming it and streaming it live to my YouTube channel.
As you develop the character itself.
So imagine if Jamie Foxx filmed himself with the making of becoming Ray Charles.
Yeah. Right.
I did the making of becoming Tupac with Darris Love. Ended up getting
for how
100
long?
million.
For how long?
8 years.
8 years.
Ended up getting 100 million views, a million subscribers, and now have a permanent residency at YouTube Space LA.
That's amazing. You know what?
Congratulations.
Go ahead and shout out that address right now.
Yes, so if you guys all know, if you go to truthabouttupac.com, truthabouttupac.com, on the YouTube channel, you will see that we have, for over 8 years, have interviews with the mother, the brother, the sister, all the engineers and musicians, the Outlaws, all of the different people that were what we call Mr. Core's inner core of Mr. Shakur. And what ended up happening is I get a call from the movie company, and they gave me the LOI to play him. And since the movie is out now, I could kind of let this out the bag. This is a good thing for you. They actually went into a lawsuit with the mother, put a gag order on her, and she wasn't able to have any creative input on the story. And after I was hired to do the voiceover for Tupac for Straight Outta Compton, the actor Mark Rose, I did the voiceover for him in Straight Outta Compton. I also submitted and did the voiceover for the Coachella hologram. So the mother knew that, and we became friends from doing Truth About Tupac. And she says, I won't sign off on this voice. I want you to do the voice. And thanks to F. Gary Gray and the mom, I did the voice. And we became so close that I just said, you know what? Knowing that they sued you and you have no creative input to do this story, Mom, I have a letter written to Molly, her right hand and assistant, that I opt out and really didn't feel comfortable with playing the role with the respects to the family, because they had a story that they wanted to tell. And we went into development with Richard Saperstein, who produced Seven, produced a lot of big films with Brad Pitt. Did Seven and
Fight Club?
He did Out of Time with Denzel. He's done a lot of big movies. Long story short, the mother died, and we weren't able to develop the story that they had about Tupac. And so all of this research and all of this hard work and training to play Tupac, I didn't get to do him. But I'm very happy about all the loyal fans that followed through with the truth about Tupac. To this day,
but you did play Tupac in a number of ways.
Yes,
right?
There you go. There you go.
Are you familiar? Do you know who Malign 20 is?
No.
Out of Chicago?
No.
My man, he used to ghostwrite for Pac. He used to go vocal for Pac back then. This guy is sick. I'm gonna have to.
You gotta hook us up.
I'm gonna have to hook you up
because we could do an interview with him on the Truth About Tupac.
He's so good. He is so good.
And it's Tupac's birthday coming up on June 16th, and thanks to Jason Strickland, where we did the live City Walk, we potentially might be doing a live big birthday with the actor that played Tupac. Our website, The Truth About Tupac, discovered Demetrius Shipp, the actor that played him in All Eyes on Me.
Excellent.
We have had so much success with the website like that. All of these actors are coming together, potentially at the City Walk live stage where we did the 20-year Alex Mack reunion, to do a birthday party for Tupac June 16th. So I'm letting the cat out the bag.
Well, Malign 2-0, we're gonna get him on board here in the next few weeks,
Thank you,
right? I'm
brother.
gonna introduce you guys for
Tommy
sure.
boy.
Ladies.
One more question though. Favorite Tupac song?
Oh man, my ambitions as a rider.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, my favorite one, I gotta tell you, it was off the gang-related soundtrack.
Ooh.
Which one was it?
Oh,
you tell
you're
me.
talking about
Staring at the world through my rear view. Come on, baby, scream to
with
God.
God,
I can hear you. I can
That's
see
one
your
of his-
heart beating
let me tell you
fast because
something.
it's time to die. Getting high, watching time fly. And no, my
Come on.
right? You know what I'm saying,
bro? That is one of his, I would say one of his best songs.
Man, I moved
You're
to
right.
LA in '97.
You're right.
I used to drive on the 134, and I would look at,
In the rear view?
I would look at the city behind me.
Dope,
Right?
Dope.
That's what Pac was saying.
I mean, it's so hard. People ask me this question all the time, what's your favorite Tupac song?
Yeah.
It's so hard because
There were so many good ones.
there was so many good ones. And he was just it would touch every human spirit and every side of you, every bit of emotions in the human body he could touch.
He would sample. He would sample
doom.
people, and like it just make you feel those feelings all over again.
Yes, white, black, brown,
Smart
yellow,
man.
no, it doesn't
Smart man.
matter.
Okay. Moving on.
Can we get my
think it's
sister?
time.
Can
Is
we
it
get my-
time?
Yes.
It's
I
time.
think it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is
Ready?
time
Ready?
for 7 questions. 7 questions. 7
questions to show who wins.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Here we go.
Wow.
You guys rehearsed that.
Never.
7.
2 times.
7
Do you want
questions.
to do the first one?
Yes, you go.
All right. I'm going to do the first one.
You do the first one.
All right. Question number 1. This is a competition between the two of you guys.
The two of
my
you guys.
gosh.
And just so you know, the person that wins this.
Oh, yes. We have
we
a
get
prize.
something?
There's a classic prize.
It is
Really?
a
You're gonna
vintage
get.
classic prize.
Well, she's gonna win.
It is from my mom's basement, and it is a cassette tape of our single, Can I Get Your Number?
I
Yeah.
gotta win this. She's already got that one. Now it's on elbows.
All right.
And we're gonna be shipping it COD.
COD.
4 to 6 weeks in the mail.
You have to be there from the hours of 10 a.m. to 6
Make sure there's an
p.m.
adult at
That's
home.
weird, but okay. All right, let's see.
We'll get
All
it to you.
right.
Here we go. All right,
Question
questions.
number 1. Are you ready?
Question number 1. Here we
What
go.
was the number 1 song in America the day Secret World of Alex Mack debuted on October 8th?
Which is also my
1998.
birthday, by the way.
That's your birthday? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it premiered on my birthday. The number 1 song.
Wow.
It's October 8th, 1994.
Give us a hint.
You need a hint?
We need a
We need
hint.
a hint.
All right. No. You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. You're just supposed to say it.
Girl, relax. Let's go slow.
Boys to Men.
You can see. You can
Keep
answer.
going.
Is it, man?
You gotta jump in.
I'll make love to you.
Natanya
Natanya
gets one.
won.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Number 2. What was the title character's full name from your show? Her full name.
Oh, Alexandra Mack.
Yes, ding, ding,
Natanya
ding,
for
ding, ding.
2.
Natanya for 2.
Darris, you gotta jump in here, bro. You gotta
He
jump
didn't know
in.
it.
I didn't know that one.
Okay,
I didn't know him.
okay,
I didn't know him.
All right. Question number 3 out of 7. What was the name of the series finale episode of Secret World of Alex Mack?
I mean, I know it.
Go.
Paradise Regained. Paradise Regained.
Correct!
Yeah.
I forgot to write down the real answer, so we don't really know.
You also spelled finale as
Finally.
finally. So,
Sorry.
Yeah, Paradise
Damn
Regained.
it. She's street.
Because it was a two-parter.
I got a chance.
Darris,
I got a chance.
It was
Darris,
a two-parter.
you got a chance.
I got a
You
chance.
had a
I gotta hit them
chance.
all.
But that means like you're like
Yeah.
you're in the finals
I'm
right now.
LeBron. Yeah.
You're LeBron right now.
LeBron right
you ready,
now.
You
Let's
ready to
go.
go,
Let's
LeBron? Let's
go.
do it. Okay. How many characters knew about Alex's powers?
Only 2.
It's incorrect.
It is.
That is incorrect,
That's
actually.
incorrect.
What?
I researched. I dug deep.
We dug.
I
deep.
dug deep.
What,
We dug deep.
What time frame are we talking? Are we talking about in general?
All the
Yeah.
whole entire
yeah,
arc.
that's wrong. Okay.
I think Natanya
no,
has.
I'm the only character actually who never found out about the powers, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 6.
Okay, well,
Well.
our research was not that good.
That wasn't that good.
We just knew that Dave knew.
We just knew
Dave knew.
Dave knew
Wyatt.
at the very end.
Yes.
So it's
Dave Watts.
Dave,
Ben.
Louis
Initially-
Driscoll,
initially-
Louis Driscoll.
Initially, it was you
Uh-huh.
and
and the sister.
Annie.
Annie.
Uh-huh.
and then that was it. Like when you look up trivia,
It's 4.
You guys are the only ones that know.
Yeah, it's 4
Yeah.
though total.
No. So Dave,
Uh-huh.
Ray, Annie,
Ben,
Lewis, Barbara Mack, and Daddy Mack.
Knew at the
6.
What about Tommy Mac?
No, Tommy Mack.
Tommy back.
Clearly,
not
Tommy's
No.
In fact, I didn't know she had magic until yesterday.
Oh my God!
Wow.
What were you living under a rock in the '90s?
He was touring all around
He was
the world.
touring.
We
yeah.
were actually on tour.
Give him an excuse.
Unfortunately.
All right. Fifth
Okay.
question. So it's like a tie, right?
Dude.
So I think it's a
Sure.
All right, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
What?
guys.
Are we giving that to him?
Yeah, it's
Tie,
a tie.
tie.
It's a tie.
It's a tie.
It's
Yeah.
not a tie. She has
She
3
would.
points.
She would.
No,
Well,
she's
we still have 3 more questions.
Okay,
and we're
go.
proud of
We're
them.
gonna go through all the questions.
And question number 5. What Blue Bloods star got his start on the Secret World of Alex Mack?
That's a great question.
Will
Actually,
Estes.
that's the times.
Dude, you guys do the win. You guys wrote these
I want
questions.
to answer the rest. I want to answer the
Okay.
rest.
How
Come
did
on.
you? How
For-
did you not
Let's
know
see
that?
if Darris can even get one. Come on.
Come on, let's go.
All right.
Freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah, you go. You go.
Okay. How many episodes did Jessica Alba appear in?
2.
Is there another answer?
I love you so much. I love
She did the
you.
pilot. How many did she do?
Is there
Was
another
Darris
answer?
even there?
I know, right?
Darris, were you
you in
on
the
the
show?
show?
Yeah, I was on the show. I just didn't really.
Were you
pay
doing
attention.
catering on certain days?
I was faxing. I was faxing.
You were
I
faxing.
think it was 7.
Holy moly, you guys
Oh.
are both well. He was actually closer.
He
without,
was?
without going over.
According to the World
so
Wide
we're
Web,
gonna give
It
the
was.
answer.
Give it to Darris. Give it
Okay,
to
so
It was
3.
3.
the answer was 3.
Okay. You're,
3.
Yep.
And
See?
what's the story there? Why was she only in 3?
She got another TV show called Flipper.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that was great.
remember that?
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I just remember Isle of Hands.
All
And-
right.
And
The last. This
I'll
is the
stop there.
tiebreaker.
Wow. Not really, but
Here's this one.
okay.
What was the #1 song in America the day Secret World of Alex Mack
Ended.
finally aired?
the finale.
Sorry.
man.
Sorry, I didn't.
There
Sorry.
you go with your
The
finally.
Secret World of Alex
That would be
finale
The
aired,
finale. That would be
which
98.
was January
15th,
15th,
1998.
1998.
January 15, 1998. You gotta give us another.
Yeah.
hint.
We have a hint.
Okay.
You
Give us
can't
another
sing
hint.
it though.
I won't sing it. I'll just say it. So it's like picture me standing with you on a mountain, maybe bathing with you in the sea.
I
wanna-
would like to live like this forever.
Oh,
until the
until the stars fall down on me. What? Oh, yeah.
So who's
there
the-
was,
there are 2 guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then they had this other song that oh my God.
You
Well,
love
it's not false. It's
True.
Truly, madly, deeply.
and the group is.
Savage Garden.
You know what? You guys both win.
Thank you.
No authority cassettes.
Yes,
Wow.
just
I
like
think-
every other morning
Wow.
or
I was
afternoon
gonna,
talk
I was
show.
gonna let her win, but she really whooped my butt.
Everybody.
She actually.
she
you
whipped my
you didn't
butt.
have to let her.
No.
I'm pretty good at 90s trivia,
Like,
actually.
She,
All right.
she bent you over and spanked it.
Yeah, she
on her own.
Absolutely. All right. So listen, wrapping everything
Wrap it
up.
up.
Wow.
Wrap it
Wrapping
up.
what we're up. We got to the finish line, you guys.
We're here. We're
We
here.
are.
We're looking ahead now.
Let's circle back and let's talk
it's
about
now here and now and later.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
talk about the reboot. Talk about Universal City Walk. Talk about what's
Yeah.
going on. What do you want to accomplish? Do it.
I want to tell you this. It's been an amazing since Natanya called and said, "Hey, you know what, guys? Like the fans are demanding something."
Now
from us."
Natanya and Jason organized that.
Yes.
That is that
It was
correct?
the
or
3 of us,
no?
so someone
No,
had...
she's very modest as well as Jason. She got so bombarded by such fans that are so loyal that continuously call her, email her, text her, and said, "Hey, you know, what's up? You know, like why did Alex Mack end?" That's like the #1 question we always get. What happened? Why did it stop? I love this show. And so Natanya,
I still think that she was making everyone in the town fart.
But so when Natanya, like speaking of knowing everybody, Natanya keeps this relationship with everybody going, whether it's fans, whether it's you know, us as actors that were in the show, whether it was the writers or it was producers. And so she just started to call us and put us in a thread and start to DM us and tell us, look, guys, I think we should do something.
Yeah.
And with Jason having the director and producing, resume like
That
this guy,
mentality that
Yeah.
like
I see him all the
organizer.
time.
Yeah, and Jason is who secured Universal for
Yeah.
us because
Shot it,
Yeah.
his
he
production.
shot it, he filmed it, he edited it, and then the three of us actually we paid for it ourselves too.
You guys are like the nucleus of this.
Well, Jason, Darris, and I wrote it, produced it, and funded it ourselves.
So where's this going?
That's just what you saw, what's out there, and I will say to our YouTube
Can we give
channel,
a link? Can we give a link to that?
Yeah, so our YouTube channel is called
The 90s are back.
no, what the hell?
No, it's
what
the
is it
reboot,
called?
the return of Alex Mack.
No, that's not what the channel.
Return of the
Hold
Man.
on, it's
This
called
is
The
Return
Secret World of Alex Mack 20 years. Yeah, 20-year reunion.
Well,
The Secret World of
Alex Mack 20-year reunion.
And then on that
That's a
channel,
long domain.
I
His
know.
90s is back.
And then on that channel are different videos. So we have the
Yeah.
full reunion special from Universal.
Okay.
We have some behind the scenes stuff.
What we can do is we can actually put that link probably
Perfect.
when the episode
We'll
airs. We can
appreciate
actually
Yeah.
link it. So,
Yeah.
And
so
then it's
you don't-
also
you
the
don't have to
link is in
remember
my
that.
bio on Instagram, just quickly at
And your
Natanya
Instagram
Ross.
is?
And your Instagram is?
At Natanya Ross.
At Darris Love.
Yeah, and then also Jason's is at In the Light Productions.
Productions.
So
So
yeah,
y'all's are your names, and then he's got a production.
Of
Well, because he's
course,
the
yeah.
production company.
Yeah, he's the production company. So yeah, so we
I prefer the name actually.
Yeah.
Because it's you.
it's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we put all that together. From that, the momentum of it and the excitement from the fans and from us too, from being back together for the first time in 20 years. I mean, Darris and I and me and Ben Smith have always remained friends, but some of the rest of us hadn't seen each other in a long time. So from
Ben Smith. Now
he
that was
plays
the kid that
Lewis Driscoll.
and he did the brain. What was his quote from? Was that not the kid from Jerry? Was that Jerry Maguire?
He was in Jerry Maguire.
The human head
Kush-
weighs.
No, that's Jonathan Lipnicki. Which this is why
okay.
it's weird. They link
So who-
them online.
Yeah.
So if you look up Ben Smith, Jonathan Lipnicki's picture comes up. But Ben Smith was in Jerry Maguire too. He played Jerry O'Connell's little brother. He was like Cushman, or whatever that thing was. I butchered it. So
got it. No, that was spot on.
well,
Actually,
thank you so much. So
We can
there was a
auto-tune that.
lot of momentum after that, and
Meetings.
a lot of meetings. So we're in development right now, and we're just
We discovered who owns the rights and how to go about getting the rights. It's a lot of legal things,
Yeah.
When it comes to a show like that, there's so many different.
You've got
people.
writers, producers.
Yeah.
The producers seem to be on board.
Yeah, the
right?
producers are at the 20-year reunion.
Yeah.
They were.
So
both
the creator Tommy Lynch,
yeah.
he was there.
Ken Littman.
Ken
Nice
Littman,
guys.
who
Yes.
was the story development
Yeah.
is what he did. But we're also in development for some other stuff too, which we're really
Well, what
kind
we've
of
been
as
realizing
excited about.
is that the 90s are back theme is this is an era where so many great American music, TV programming, movies, films, and stars that you kind of don't know where they went, what they're doing.
Yeah.
So we are kind of like using the concept, like you remember with Ben Affleck, the Green Project, with him and Matt Damon and all of those different actors.
Oh, yeah.
They came together in a group as a consensus, and they started to show you how they were going to develop these big films or platforms that they were going to be in. So our whole concept with 90s is back is kind of bringing all of these big hit wonders into one group that you can see a docu-series or a platform to where you understand where they are now and where they're going to be going, and use the fans to be able to tell us what they're going to do. You know, what do you guys want to see us do? Make the consumers the producers. Like a lot of these fans are actually
Make the consumers the producers.
Yeah.
I like that.
yes, you know, and let the fans guide what they want to see happen, because you got so many big reboots that have come and gone, like Roseanne, but I won't say anymore. Right? That was
Too soon.
Not
Too
all
soon.
good for- sorry.
Yeah,
how did
no.
you get Super Bowl promotions and end up, 3-4 months later?
I
canned?
know. It's-
Amazing. Oh, okay.
That's how
Anyway, yeah.
powerful.
So that's what we're working
So do you
on
guys
now.
you guys have this platform you want to launch? Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's interesting because that's exactly what we're doing from the podcast side. So
Sure, yeah.
so
That's
let's-
why we're here.
Yeah.
So this is episode
T90s.
1.
Yeah.
It sounds like
One.
between the two of you, we can do like 100 more
100.
episodes.
We could.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
and not to kick Eric out of the co-host seat.
No, he's so good.
But here's the cool thing about the show is that the co-host can be anyone on any given day. So if you bring someone in,
It's hard to
It's hard to
live up to
replace.
him. but
it is hard to replace
yes,
Eric.
I see what you're saying.
It is tough. I know, like you're the last woman to kiss him. So I understand what your lips are saying right now. But anyway, back to social
going
media
so
handles.
well.
Yes, let's.
Okay.
And just so everybody knows too, before we wrap this up, I do want to just put out there that the hope is not dead by any means for the reboot of The Secret World of Alex Mack. We have, in our opinion, brought it to the exact people we needed to bring it to, and it's out of our hands now. And there is such a high demand for it, but it's hard to convey that on a one-on-one conversation.
So we need your help.
Yeah,
we need you guys to keep promoting and texting and letting us know.
A lot of people, if I just sit
do they
here,
text? What do they do?
well, let me tell you, if I just sit here and tell you, like, Tommy, the fans want it back so bad. Like, there's only so much I can convey to you because you're not in our shoes and you're not seeing, like, what we're seeing every day on our social medias. And even if you just search it online and you see all of these, blogs that people are making and these web pages and these chat rooms where people are just dying for this specific show to come back. So we, on our end, have done everything we can do, and we put all the work into it that we needed to do, and we brought it to the exact people we need to bring it to, and I guess the rest is really just God's plan for us. We have other stuff too. Is what I'm saying.
I think what needs to happen then is we need to create a website where all of this is brought together, right? So let's work on doing that after today, right?
It's
Absolutely,
a great idea.
We'll get that done, and then before this airs, we'll have that linked.
We'll just
Okay,
throw it on
we're
in.
not going to post this before we get that together.
Yeah.
We'll get that together.
Got it.
Thank you.
On a personal note,
Yes.
I would just like to thank you guys so very much. I would like to thank Tommy for bringing
Love
me
you
on
guys.
as his first co-host.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So special.
Social media handles. Just
Yes.
one more
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Can we go around?
Definitely.
Ladies first.
So
Okay, ladies first.
I don't have a Twitter because I'm not.
I don't have a Twitter
cool
either, it's
enough to
fine.
even figure out how to
But
do
your
all of that.
Instagram,
But I do have an Instagram.
Let's do
Yeah,
Instas.
and I'm active on Instagram, and I will answer
Yes, you are.
messages.
I saw
the
that
fans.
note online.
Very
Yeah,
loyal.
well, yeah. I mean, I will
She's
answer.
active on Instagram.
I will answer fans because without them, I'm not even relevant at all, and I'm totally
And you don't have
aware
that
of
hat. You couldn't afford that hat without fans.
Well,
Clearly.
so it's Natanya Ross at Natanya Ross, NATANYAROSS. That's my Instagram.
At
That's all
Natanya
I have.
Ross.
Yeah, I have a Facebook.
At Natanya
but-
Ross. Holler at her.
Yeah.
Mine is Darris Love, just like it sounds, DARRISLOVE. And you also can find me at the Bigger Picture Productions, YouTube, or The Truth About Tupac. And yeah,
Do you have a Twitter?
I have a Twitter.
Oh, you do?
Darris Love.
Do you
At-
use it?
at-
You do.
At Darris Love.
Should I
Yep.
get a
2
Twitter?
R's.
DAR. Yeah, you should.
Do I
You
need
should.
one?
You definitely need. You
I'll
need a
need
Twitter.
your
You
help
need a
because
Twitter.
I don't know how to do it.
Mine is
Mr. Stretch.
Stretchy Man.
Stretchy Man.
At Stretchy Man. STRETCHYMAN.
That's a pretty cool name.
It
actually.
is.
It's
It
real.
really is.
Just found out it's Irish. 23andMe.
Wow.
Well, welcome to the fam.
Thanks.
And mine is Tommy Mack 79. I am at Tommy Mack 79 on Instagram and on Twitter.
You're on Twitter. Everyone's on Twitter except for us.
And on Facebook, I think it's Tommy Mack 79.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we do have The Real ShowCast, and I managed to get all platforms at The Real ShowCast.
Wow.
So at The Real
That's
ShowCast,
big.
you guys go follow us. What is that?
The Real Showcase.
It's not the handle, it's just the title.
And he has exclamation points, which we shy away from in general. But he was super excited yesterday when we wrote this
Sorry.
up,
Yeah.
because he was nervous before,
Good
was
job,
perfect.
guys.
and then he did
So
that. So
perfect.
I got
okay,
excited.
here we are. I just want to high five all you.
Yeah,
Bye.
man.
Thank you. On the first episode.
So good.
And I want to thank KGem
KGem.
and all you guys here
KGem,
helping us
yes.
out. You guys have been
Fantastic.
amazing.
Thank you guys.
Great
Um,
facility here, guys. Thank you.
So,
Very
so,
cool.
so are we coming back for episode 2?
Come on.
What do y'all
Yeah.
think? Should we talk about it afterwards?
We should think
Absolutely.
about what we're going to talk about.
Who's gonna be here with us? We're gonna
I'm
need,
Jason
in.
Strickland is my first one.
we might need more mics.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to grow.
All right. Gray, red, green, blue.
Signing out.
That's
Signing
it.
out.
Thank
The
you.
Real
Thank you.
ShowCast first episode.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
Have a great one.
Good job, fellas.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Pee
You cannot.
So bad.
You cannot.